Hello and welcome to another daily market update on Bitcoin. So on the Bitcoin chart here, on the daily time frame, just want to explain that it's possible that we have now started the B wave to the upside or the fifth wave to the upside. Obviously very early days. We haven't broken above the trend line, but this is precisely what we are watching on the smaller time frame, the micro patterns, to understand if this move to the upside has actually started. What we need to see is actually a little bit more evidence. So, for example, what I'd like to see for further evidence is that we're now breaking above this trend line. But on the smaller time frame, there are, let's say, earlier signals that we can get that we will talk about. Here on the daily time frame, it's mainly about, okay, can we generate the upside momentum to break above the trend line maybe next week? I don't think too much is going to happen over the weekend, but let's see. And then the market could move towards that resistance zone around 100K, 104K, 109K. These would be the next, let's say, larger resistances that we can watch there in this B wave. And then from there, as long as corrective pullbacks happen, that means the price forms three-wave pullbacks, we could even watch for higher prices going forward. For now, the idea is that we could move up here in this B wave potentially, and if the next pullback is corrective, we could still go higher then. But if we move into the resistance area and the move to the downside generates a five-wave pattern, that's what we will watch on the smaller time frame. We will observe this chart like a hawk. So we have to pay very close attention to the micro patterns over the coming sessions. And if we see any five-wave movements to the downside, it could indicate the start of the C wave to the downside, possibly towards the 50 to 60K region. But that is too early to say where this, it depends on where the B wave tops. I just want to give you a rough idea for orientation where things could be going. So basically, it is at this point not clear whether the next move up will be a B wave or a wave 5 that could take us to 130K. On the smaller time frame, I'm not worried about it. On the smaller time frame, the main focus is on whether we have actually formed a local low and whether the 7th of April low is really a low that the market can now use to rally higher in the B wave towards that resistance area. So I specifically added that resistance area to the chart to give you an idea of where things could be going. It is a large resistance area, but that's the problem with B waves. B waves are chameleon-like structures. They can also be very, very aggressive. Now, looking at the smaller time frame for Bitcoin, well, we can see that we have an initial potential five-wave move to the upside here. In red, 1 to 5 in wave 1. Then this would be a wave 2 pullback that could happen now. We saw that already yesterday, the potential start of that wave 2 pullback. Quick reminder, this is the support zone that's still relevant, 79,657 to 81,981. And from that A wave low that potentially formed on the 7th of April, we could now look for higher prices as long as the market holds above 79,657. Quick reminder, what were we looking for? Well, we were looking for a three-wave move up. Well, that happened in wave A. Then we had a three-wave pullback, so it kept the door open for higher prices, labeled wave B. And now we could be moving up in wave C. Because we have an initial five-wave move up on the micro level, we have clear parameters for a wave 2 pullback. That should be an ABC structure. And the support zone is defined, between 79,657 and 81,981. And from there, a third wave could start. Then we could get a fourth wave and a fifth wave. And that gives us a potential completed B wave. Now, what would happen if we break below 79,657? Well, it would open the door to 73K. Okay. That would be an early indication that we are failing this upside breakout or upside reversal. I mentioned also in yesterday's video that the green signal line here is probably quite strong resistance, so around 83,800. And yep, it has provided some resistance. So this is again something to watch for, and the breakout is not yet unfolding. Okay, but we have a potential upside reversal, but it's only in three waves. It's only in three waves so far. So we have here an A wave, a B wave, and well, ideally the C wave is still unfolding. But we can argue that the C wave has started because the market has generated a first 5-wave move up in wave 1. Then wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. I can tell you if we go higher more directly, I will have to change the wave count. And I will probably then change it in a way to indicate that, just that you've heard about it, that the A wave turns into a 5-wave move, and I will see it as a leading diagonal. And then it would be probably wave 1, 2, A, B, C in wave 3, 4, 5, and that would only be the A wave. So it's too early to say, but basically, to keep it very simple, as long as now the 79,657 level is holding, the focus could be on higher prices, but we might see a bit of a pullback now to complete their wave 2, maybe over the weekend, and then we'll see how the market reacts to micro support. As I said, below 79,657, it starts to open the door to 73K. Okay, so I'll keep you updated about that. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.